Hello, welcome back to my channel. I'll be talking about the books that I'm going to be reading in the month of May. Quite the list. And I'm going to be taking part in a couple of readathons as well. But first, let's get straight into my regular TBR, and then I'll talk about the readathon afterwards. First book I have that I'm hoping to read this month is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. This is a Patreon book club pick for Books with Chloe's Patreon book club book. So this was picked for this month. Can I not speak? I'm exhausted. This ain't it. I know I needed to film this video because every booktuber films TBR videos, and I personally love watching TBR videos. So I was like, I need to film my TBR video, but I'm very tired and this ain't it. So please watch this video, even though it ain't it. Anyways, let's restart. The first book I hope to read this month is The House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune for Books with Chloe's Patreon book club pick. So I did vote for this book. I am very excited to read it. I'll read the back so you kind of know a little bit what it's about. It says, Linus Baker is a by-the-book caseworker in the Department of Charge of Magical Youth. At 40, he lives in a tiny house with a devious cat and his old records for company, but his quiet life is about to change. Linus is summoned by extremely upper management and given a curious and highly classified assignment. Travel to an orphanage on a distant island and determine whether 6 dangerous magical children are so dangerous, in fact, that they're likely to bring about the end of days. When Linus arrives at the strangest of islands, he's greeted by a series of mysterious figures, the greatest mystery of which is Arthur Piranus, the master of the orphanage. As Linus and Arthur grow closer, Linus discovers the master would do anything to keep the children safe, even if it means the world has to burn, or worse, his secret comes to light. This just sounds amazing. I have had this on my shelf for a minute, and I'm so excited now that I finally get a chance to read it. TBR is Waiting for Spring Volume 2. So this is just a really fun manga series. It follows a young girl named Mitsuki and her group of friends who happen to be all popular basketball boys. So I've only read the first volume, so I'm excited to get into the story and see what happens even more. I love the idea that this girl's friends with all these 5 guys. I just think that that's really fun. All right, moving right along, one of my most anticipated reads this month is A Court of Mist and Fury. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I read ACOTAR for the first time, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas for the first time last month, which I will be doing a whole video about my thoughts, feelings, etc. In short, I loved it, gave it 5 stars, and I heard that this is even better. The series follows Feyre, who was taken from her home after killing a wolf who ended up being a fairy, and she's forced to live in the fairy lands. That's not a spoiler, it's on the back. And then a romance ensues from there, and there's adventure and fairies and fae and different courts and a character I love who may or may not be named Rhysand. I love him. Anyways, I heard that he's very prominent in this book, so I'm so excited to read this. I cannot wait. I just want to get straight into it now, but I'm trying to finish other books and it's 700 pages, but I'm so excited. Okay, the next book was actually our Panera Red book club book pick for last month, and that is Stormfront. And actually, as I am filming this, I will have already finished this book because I was 30 pages in at the beginning of the month, so it's not very long. It's a little over 300 pages, so I had 270 pages left to read. So this was good. I am counting it for the month of May since I did only read the first 25-30 pages beforehand. I'll talk more about my thoughts on it, but I did just want to say that this would be on my TBR, even though it's technically already read. I'm also late posting my TBR video, so there's that. Life ain't perfect, you know what I'm saying? Okay, next is a book I had on my TBR from last month also. It's If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. I borrowed this book from a coworker who's also part of our book club, and I'm keen to give it back to him soon. I also really want to read it because it sounds amazing. the secret history is mentioned on the back, so I'm thinking some dark academia themes are happening. Basically, it's, from what I gathered, it's following this group of men who were convicted for a crime committed years ago, and they're now getting out of prison, and they're ready to like tell like the story about like what happened, like a little blurb about it so you can kind of like get an idea. 10 years ago, Oliver is one of 7 young Shakespearean actors at Delachair Classical Conservatory, a place of keen ambition and fierce competition. In the secluded world of firelight and leather-bound books, Oliver and his friends play the same roles on stage and off: hero, villain, tyrant, temptress, ingenuine extras. But in their 4th and final year, the balance of power begins to shift. Good-natured rivalries turn ugly, and on opening night, real violence invades the students' world of make-believe. In the morning, the 4th years find themselves facing their very own tragedy and their greatest acting challenge yet: convincing the police, one another, and themselves that they are innocent. Okay, so that's like a little bit of a blurb about this. All right, next up, I'm finishing my reread of Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows. It's actually my reread of the whole series, and I'm actually almost done with this book, so I've been making some good progress reading the audiobook for this month. I listen to it sometimes while I'm at work, while I'm like doing dishes or sweeping the floor or something, just, to pass the time a little bit, and I am just absolutely loving it. I'm so close to being done, and I just love this series. Like, absolutely love it. The next 2 books that I'm going to be reading are going to be on my Kindle. So I purchased If There Were Thorns by V.C. Andrews, which is the second book in the Flowers in the Attic series. I purchased that on my Kindle, so I'll be reading that electronically. And I will also be reading Ready Player One electronically. One of my friends from work wanted to do a couple buddy reads, so we're going to be buddy reading Ready Player One and The Four Winds by Kristen Hanna. I don't have my copy of The Four Winds yet. It's coming with my Book of the Month books, but when I do have it, I will show it to you because I'm very excited. And if I can figure out how to do that thing that everybody does where they put a picture of the book up in the corner, then I will definitely do that. Thorns is the second book in the Dollanganger series, which, like I mentioned, the Flowers in the Attic series, about these children who are kept in an attic by their mother and their evil grandmother, and they in the first book, they kind of go through what it's like to be shut up in an attic, and then the second book is continuing the story from there. I don't want to reveal too many spoilers, but that's like the basic premise. What I know of Ready Player One, I believe, is this boy playing a video game, and then he gets immersed in the video game and goes on adventures from there, and there's like magic and such. I don't really know too much about it. I wasn't planning on reading it, but everybody who has read it says it's really good, so I'm gonna give it a try. Four Winds, I know, follows a family during the Dust Bowl, so it's a little bit of historical fiction, and my friend that I'm buddy reading it with loves historical fiction, so I'm really keen to learn about this family and the struggles they go through during the Dust Bowl, and to learn more about that time in history. I don't read a ton of historical fiction, though I do like it. The historical fiction I tend to gravitate towards would be like World War II, so this is something different, something I'm looking forward to reading. So those are the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, this is my last one. The Bookshop by the Sea. So I just borrowed this book from my friend Alyssa because I saw in one of her stories on Instagram that she was reading this at the beach, and I was like, wow, that looks like a cozy mystery I want to read, or just like a cozy contemporary that I want to read. So she let me borrow it, and I'm super excited to be reading this. I think it's going to be fantastic. Just my kind of vibe, very chill, very cozy. And I wanted to just like throw it on my TBR. Like, I didn't write it in my reading journal, but I am adding it to my TBR, so that's fine. That I didn't show is Fablehaven 5. I have been working my way through the Fablehaven series by Brandon Mull. It's, I would say, a middle grade series, but as the books progress, I think that they get more young adult-ish. So I'm keen to finish that series. This is the 5th and final book. So once I read it, I will have completed the series, and we love that. So I will be reading that also this month. All over the place. Like, I wasn't going to film this video today because I'm like very scattered, but now you know. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 11 books I want to read in the month of May. I read 11 books last month. Haven't filmed my wrap up yet. Will I? Probably. Hopefully. I actually have 3 more books I'm trying to read. Now, listen, I'm taking part in the Breath of the Wild readathon, which I'm very excited about. Don't get me wrong. However, I'm going to wait to reveal my TBR in a separate TBR video. I have picked the 3 main prompts for the books, and there's 2 optional prompts that I have not picked yet, so I may switch it up. I'm looking at them right now. I may switch it up if I decide to try to do 5 books that week, but I'm not sure, like, with work, how many books I'm going to be able to read in 1 week. So I may just stick with the 3, which would bring my total to 14. And that would be an insane reading month for me. Like, I don't usually read 14 books in a month, so that would be insane. I may be able to do it. If I read the 2 extra, that would be 16. Who knows? I don't. It might be possible. It might not. Yeah. If you're reading any of these books, please drop me a comment and let me know what you think. If you have read them, please let me know your thoughts. I'm super excited for all of these books. I think it's going to be a great time, and I can't wait to see how many I'm able to get through and what adventures I get to go on this month. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel if you like my content. I also have a Patreon. If you want extra content from me, like extra blog posts, or want to do a buddy read with me, I can definitely make that happen on there. And as always, I hope you have a good day or night wherever you are, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!